We seem to have another visitor.
Who's this? Another member of Constellation? Wait. No way.
You don't have a twin, do you?
No. Starborn? What are you talking about? Who are you?
A miner from Vectera brings us an artifact, and now a doppelganger walks through our door right afterwards. I think you have a few pieces of this puzzle to share with us, don't you? So, that's what we're looking for. The pieces to an armillary. A path to the center of a multiverse.
Hey, look. I was just here to drop off the artifact. I'm not cut out for this. Okay. Okay. Let's do this.
In the meantime, I suppose we don't really have much of a choice but to allow both of you to join. You should feel free to make the lodge your home. You should talk to Vladimir about the artifacts the Eye is supposed to find. We'll gather the others.
While it is customary to say, "Welcome home," that is not dimensionally accurate in this case.
Hey, me? I gave it some thought, and I want to take you up on your offer. I'll join your crew. Two's company, right? Right now? Man, you don't mess around, do you? Alright, what's my first assignment? Roger that, boss. Can I call you boss? Kinda weird using my own name when I talk to you. Anyway, see you out there. It's always nice to see a friend. That's fine by me, boss. So many. I think I'm still getting used to this whole traveling with myself thing. This is kind of an obvious one, but I've been wondering what you think the biggest difference is between our universes. That's a pretty heady thought, boss. You're really starting to sound like an all-knowing, universe-hopping Starborn. What about your family? I'm pretty close with my parents. Are you? Were you? Ah, I see. I guess there really are differences between our universes. Let's see, what else? Ah, here's a good one. If our roles were reversed and I was the Starborn instead, would you have joined my crew? That's why I took it. I figure I'm the only person in history who's ever gotten an offer like that. Passing it up seemed like a bad call. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're the captain and I'm the crewmate. You're a way better pilot than me. If I was at the helm, the ship would be a pile of scrap on some uninhabited moon by now. I have one more question for you, if you're up for it. Did you ever miss your home universe? That must be tough. I hope you don't regret it too much. If it makes things any easier, I'm really happy you're here. Hey, thanks a lot for letting me ask you this stuff. Getting to know you better makes this whole traveling with myself thing a lot easier for me. Yes and no. You're a lot wiser than I am. Maybe going through that Unity thing does that to a person. Knowing how this could all turn out must weigh on you. You're a better pilot than I am too, and better with a gun. I may have you beat as a miner though. It sounds like you didn't do it as long as I did. To tell you the truth, I am glad that there are some differences between us. It makes me feel more me, you know? More like a person and less like an echo of you. The feeling's mutual. That's a big question. If what I understand about it is right, the trip through is one way, right? No going back to your old universe once you switch? If that's the case, I wouldn't do it. I have a family here. I have friends at Argos and Constellation. I couldn't leave my versions of them behind. I get why you did it. Being Starborn seems phenomenal, but I'd rather be a boring old human than run the risk of being forgotten or replaced in this universe. Yeah, I do. Our parents are alive and well in this universe. They were merchants for years, but they've retired in New Atlantis now. My siblings and I grew up on their ship. Spacefaring must run in the family, too. All three of us ended up taking jobs in the space lanes. Yeah, sure will. Their story's pretty sappy. They were childhood sweethearts, but they lost touch when my mom's family moved away from Jemison. They reconnected years later during a piloting class at Mast. Since they were both interested in becoming merchants, they decided to go into business together. After the class, they bought a ship together, and the rest is history. 3 kids and a couple decades later, and they're still the happiest couple I know. My sister's name is Elise. She's the family badass. She joined Systev as soon as she was old enough, and now she hunts pirates for a living. My other sibling's named Pierce. They're an engineer aboard a long-haul cargo ship. The 3 of us are real close. They're my best friends in the whole world. My brother and sister would probably freak out. The 3 of us are really close growing up. Meeting my duplicate would probably throw them for a loop. Dad's a stoic guy. He'd probably take it in stride. I don't think I've ever seen anything really surprise him. And Mom would love you. If you promised to visit her more than I do, she'd probably like you even more than me. I'm sorry to hear things weren't the same in the universe where you came from. No hard feelings, I hope? Honestly, my life was kind of boring before I found the artifact. I had a steady gig as a miner, plenty of friends at Argos, and your run-of-the-mill UC family. Wild how fast things change, isn't it? Hell, before you showed up, I'd never even had a job where I worked above ground. Makes me wonder how things would be different if I never found the artifact in the first place. You're kidding, right? It's you. Meeting you is by far and away the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. Unless you've made this trip before, I'm willing to bet that I'm the only person in existence who's ever met a version of themselves from another universe. Meeting you even makes finding the artifact seem normal by comparison. Yeah, sometimes. It wasn't an exciting life, but it was mine, you know? I knew what to expect when I woke up every morning. I don't feel like that so much anymore. Universe hopping and space magic aren't exactly my areas of expertise. I'm still trying to figure out where I fit into this whole thing. I try not to let it keep me up at night, but that's easier said than done. I'm sure you get it. You've had a way stranger journey than I have. It was mostly Supervisor Lynn's doing. Argos wasn't my first mining job. When Lynn and I met, I was mining for Deimos near Sidonia. 5 years on Mars, churning out ore for the UC military was more than enough for me. I met Lynn and Heller at the Broken Spear one night, and we got to talking. Lynn said she'd beat my Deimos salary, and that if I worked with Argos, I'd get to travel more. It seemed like too good an opportunity to pass up, so I took it. I go back and forth. I enjoyed mining for Argos, even though I wasn't with them very long. I think I could have been a lifer if it weren't for that artifact. But it's hard to regret finding it after what I saw when I touched it. I mean, you get it, right? I've never experienced anything like that in my life. It changed me. Hopefully for the better. I did. Heller and I got along, and Lynn was a good boss. She was tough, but only when we needed it. It beat the hell out of working for Deimos, that's for sure. For me, it was. The work was hard, the pay was crap, and the way Deimos treated us miners rubbed me the wrong way. I was happy to get out of there. I'm not surprised. I can't imagine Lynn being any different even in another universe. She's a good woman. I would have worked for her for the rest of my life if the artifact and constellation hadn't come into play. What's up? I'm still getting used to answering questions for myself.